Excellent, excellent. Hey there, I am Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. In today's Google Maps video, what I'd love to share with you are some questions that I asked ChatGPT and Google's Gemini. So what I asked for are what are the most commonly asked questions from business owners related to Google Business Profile or Google My Business and Google Maps SEO. So I'm going to go ahead and share this list with you. I think there's 20 or 25 different questions, most common according to AI. So I'll answer all of these AI questions. Again, Gemini, OpenAI. I don't want to waste any time. Let's get into the tips. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the screen. Okie doke. All right. Here, let's do this. All right. Oh, wrong one. We're going to pull this up. I'll probably pull this into multiple videos later, but let's give expert opinion. I've been doing SEO. Google Maps came out in 15, I believe. By 16, I was already on it. So I'm going to give my opinion on these most common questions. All right. So if you have any other questions, ask in the section below. We're going to go through each and every one of these. Let's not waste any more time. So again, I asked the most common Google business SEO questions to rank on Google Maps. I don't know which order this is in. I don't know if it's OpenAI or Google Gemini, but let's just start going through. Number one, how do you rank in the top 3 on Google Maps? So in my opinion, for ranking in the top 3 for Google Maps, you first and foremost need to be very close in proximity to the person that's searching. Is your business there? Are you optimized for the primary category? Are you offering the service, right? Like, do you have the right keywords that actually generate volume? So am I targeting the right keywords? Am I in the right location? Are you with me? Am I able to convey to Google what I do, where I do it, and what my name is, right? Here's my business, here's what I do, and here's where I do it. You need to be able to convey that to Google and to your customers. As long as you can stay consistent, you build authority, you build trust through consistency. Google rewards expertise. Expertise, authority, trust. The two come with time. The other one is built after the time. So this is how you rank. On top of that, I want to point this out. You optimize your profile for service location. You optimize your site, most notably the page that is connected for service and location. Then on top of this, the people or the businesses that rank at the top, here I want to point this out. Well, we'll give examples as we go. The business owners that rank at the top aren't necessarily the best, but they generate all the clicks and the interest. Why? Because they're in the top 3. So clicks, traffic, proximity, optimization, and then do I have social proof, reviews? Do I have consistent reviews? A business that's consistently doing good business consistently gets reviews or engagement or interaction, right? And on top of that, if you go and look at any top performing website, I'm talking about websites because it plays into maps a little. What's their number 1 keyword? Their name. As time progresses, your name builds steam. Are you getting brand traffic? Is your profile optimized? Are you getting consistent reviews? Are you in the proximity of the searcher? Are you optimized? This is how you rank in the top 3. Take your time. Don't be in a rush. Don't take any shortcuts. They say that building a brand takes a decade. So don't be in a rush, right? The Kool-Aid will be so much better when you get there. Let's move on. Number 2. What are the most important ranking factors for Google Maps? All right. So I guess this really builds on the last. What are the most important? Here, I'm going to go ahead and blow this up just a little bit. Font. What are the most important ranking factors for Google Maps? Being optimized for service and location, having your business in the location, actually optimizing your services within the profile in products and service and the website for terms that get traffic. On top of that, am I getting consistent reviews? Are they talking about location information? Is my profile optimized? Do I have digital references online that showcase to Google end-to-end users? Here's who I am, here's what I do, and here's where I do it. This reinforces it. So citations, directories, aggregators, niche-specific directories and aggregators, right? Digital reference points, not a direct signal, but Google needs data, right? Look up data aggregators and also third-party aggregators. On top of this, go and take a look at third-party meta verifications. Go look at some of the biggest sites: Amazon, Papa John's, Walmart, all the big ones. What do they have? They're meta verified and they are listed on every aggregator. Is it because they're huge companies, or is this the blueprint to success? Let's move forward. Number three, how do I optimize my business for multiple locations on Google Maps? Multi-location businesses frequently ask questions. All right, how do I optimize my business for multiple locations on Google Maps? Great question. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick example here. All right. So bear with me here. Plumber, Los Angeles. Here, we're just going to use this as an example, and then we'll go back and answer the question. Okay. Here, I'll just go and see my friend Alligator Septic. I know he doesn't mind if I show stuff. All right. So let's bring this back up. Here, grab this, copy. What we're going to do, again, if you're just joining me, what I did is I asked OpenAI, ChatGPT, a chatbot, and I asked Google Gemini, what are the most common questions business owners have related to Google Business Profile and Google Maps? So I'm hoping to give some opinion. Hopefully you can walk away knowing a little bit more than you did when you showed up here today. All right. So this way I don't have to keep going back and forth. All right. All right, we'll get the hand. All right, multiple locations. All right, so number three, I believe this is from OpenAI. A most common question that business owners ask is, how do I optimize my business for multiple locations on Google Maps? It's a two-part optimization, all right? There's actually multiple facets to ranking one listing in multiple locations. Oftentimes you can't be the expert of more than one thing. And oftentimes you can't, not only can I not be the expert of more than one thing, right? More than one service, but I also can't service more than the next person or the next company. So if I'm trying to service a 50-mile radius, but the other 20 competitors are only targeting 10, the probability of you ranking, highly unlikely. So be realistic first and foremost. But some of the optimization steps that I would recommend, because again, Google doesn't know what you do. They don't know where you're doing it unless you feed them the data. So here's some of the steps that I would take. All right. I'm going to go ahead and show you a business that I know. First and foremost, what I want to do is I want to list out inside of the products section. I get it. It's not a product. But if you're a service business, your service is your product. So what we want to do is we want to convey to Google and end users, hey, here's what we do. Here's where we do it, right? We have to tell Google. So what we want to do here is we want to put as a primary category, pick your 2 or 3 up to 4 services, primary service. Then within the product section, you can link to your internal pages or your homepage targeting specific areas in a county, a state, or city, wherever you provide your services. This is a reciprocal link because you'll probably link back over here. So that's one way to optimize for multiple locations. Also, we want to then, inside of our profile, we can also put a service area. We do not want to use multiple zip codes because each city or town or neighborhood is made up of more than one zip code. That's old optimization. What we want to do is we want to put in cities or towns that combine multiple zip codes, all right? Everything is entity-based now. So Put cities or towns that encompass a big area. I believe now you only get 20. So it might change tomorrow, but that's going to be one of the next pieces. On top of optimizing service location, products, product categories, we also want to make it evidently clear on our website. All right. And I'm just using this as an example. It may be optimal or not, but I just want to point this out. The page that is connected, all right, whether it goes to another page or not, a location service page, the page that's connected to your maps listing is being read by Google. Don't believe me? Check your server logs. When you update your photos, your videos, when you get a new review, anytime there's interaction within the profile, you're running LSAs, right? Check your server logs. I guarantee you're getting visited. With that being said, we want to make it clear to the page that's connected to Google Maps. We want to put it into the most important places. Where's that? A tags. So what we want to make sure of is we want to make sure that we are listing verbatim services that actually get volume. On top of that, we want to also include locations that we are targeting. Don't be greedy. So with that being said, let's say it's septic systems, septic tank. The dropdown would say septic system service, location 1, location 2, location 3, location 4. But that's not all. We want to get as much optimization as possible. So utilizing a variation, this same dropdown that has service and location, use a variation in your body text. All right. Again, Google is crawling the page that's connected. So inside the body area, use a variation of your primary term. So in this particular example, it's septic system service plus location, septic systems, septic service systems. Pick a variant. One last place is in your footer. All right. Be mindful with this. You may want to create multiple footers, especially if you're targeting multiple areas or doing multiple services. We don't want site-wide more than once. Be careful down here. All right. With that being said, these are some of the ways that we can go ahead and start to optimize our profile on maps for multiple locations. All right. So the profile, we've optimized it. In the service area, we've optimized it. In our product and product category, we've optimized it. And on the page that we're connected, we've optimized it. And here's a bonus. If you want to expand proximity, I need to outperform the people or the businesses that are ahead of me. What do I mean by this? The businesses that are ranking at the top for, say, plumber in Los Angeles are not there because they are the best. Some of them maybe. Maybe it's time, maybe it's authority, trust, expertise, or maybe it's because they've been at the top and they're generating all the clicks and traffic. If your business is here, if you look at my map here in Watts, and you want to get business from Koreatown, you better be getting clicks and traffic from Koreatown. And on top of that, we also need the word Koreatown, streets in Koreatown. We need profiles, reviewers saying Koreatown, talking about streets, talking about our services from Koreatown. It's a circle. All right. So hopefully that helps you out. We'll move on to the next question. Number 4, do local citations still matter for Google Maps SEO? Very good question. All right. So do local citations still matter for Google Maps SEO? Just like with all marketing, search marketing, maps marketing, podcast marketing, influencer marketing, social media marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads, right? Everything is going to slowly but surely lose its effectiveness. Doesn't mean that it's not still effective or still part of the puzzle. It is. I still need digital reference points for Google to pull in from to say, hey, this is this business. Here's the owner. Here's their phone number. This is where they operate. Here's their service area. They're a real business. Now, it's not like it used to be where you just willy-nilly go out and build tens of thousands. Remember, we used to go build as many as we could. You still can in some markets. However, with that being said, what we're looking for now is niche specific. category specific. We're also looking for paid and paid niche specific. This could be Chamber of Commerce. This could also be a local newspaper. This could be any magnitude of different resources. On top of that, we're looking for third-party aggregators. There's local data aggregators that everyone knows about, but look up using OpenAI or maybe Perplexity. Go and look up third-party contracts held by aggregators that aren't publicly announced by Google or Alphabet. Also, look up sister companies that don't announce that they're working with Google or they're actually a subsidiary of Google. There's lots of them. Look out there. Where does Google get their data from? Helpful hint. When you're looking for information related to how Google is understanding stuff, go and look up their Google API, their cloud documentation. Start looking up what are they looking for? What do they call the words? What kind of code are they using? Then it'll open your eyes a lot. All right. So do locations still matter? Yes, but not like they used to. We want aggregators, niche specific, paid. We want optimal, not bulk. Number 5, how can I rank higher in Google Maps for competitive keywords? Great question. What I have found over the course of time is that anyone could rank for anything with enough budget and enough patience. So how do you rank higher in Google Maps for competitive terms? By doing what is required. What's required? Being optimized for keywords and services that actually have volume. Being close to where the volume or the traffic actually is. Being aggressive towards one expertise. You cannot be the expert of more than one thing. Being the expert in a particular area. You can't cover 50 miles when everyone else is covering 10. On top of this, how many times have you talked to a plumber or a lawyer? You have, let's say, a plumber. They do HVAC, they do gutters, they do heaters, they do installation, they do repair, right? They're doing windows, installs, repair, they're doing garages, right? The plumbers, they have all kinds of stuff. And then there'll be a company will come along and there'll be emergency plumber NYC. And boom, they go to the top. Why? They're hyper focused on an area and a service area of expertise. I'm not saying only target one thing, but I'm saying be within a topic, be within a category, target, be an expert in your area. Don't be greedy and be patient. So how do you rank? Be patient. Don't be greedy. Take your time, do what's required, get your traffic, do your optimization, pay for your citations and wait your time just like everyone before you did. Let's move forward. No one ever wants to hear that one though. All right, number 6. All right, and I'm not sure if this is either OpenAI or Gemini. I think this is OpenAI. But number 6, does posting on Google Business Profile help my Google Maps ranking? Excellent question. So when a link is created, what does Google do? Google crawls, right? They're a spider. That's how they got big. They did it a little bit different. They hop from hyperlink to hyperlink with a grading system called PageRank, right? And they would sort and order the pages based upon the other pages that were linked to them. With that being said, things have changed, especially with AI, with advancements in technology. However, Google's never going to go too far away from their core business, right? It's still 80% of their overall revenue is from what? Search, right? And even though we keep hearing about, oh, they're losing market share and all of this, right? I'm sure you've heard this. I looked this up just the other day. Google's losing market share to a company called Perplexity. I look up Perplexity. They have 700,000 visitors a month. I know mommy blogs that get 1 million hits a month. Like, that's a good job, but it's going to be years. So don't listen to the naysayers. All right. Stay focused on your business. It's still a viable channel, even if it's not as viable as it was yesterday. All right. With that being said, I want to get back on topic here. Does posting on Google Business Profile help with Google Maps rankings? And back to the point that we were discussing just before, Google is a crawler. What does Google do when they see a link? They crawl it, they index it, they classify it, they set it up in a hierarchy, right? With that being said, every time I put out a post on Google servers pointing to my service location pages, they just so happen to be my most valuable pages once, twice, 3 times a day. What's Google doing? Consistently going and checking and looking at those links. They're maybe not every time, but what I'm getting at here is what keeps a page indexed after you get it indexed. Yes, backlinks might get it up there, but what else? Consistent traffic. Why? Every time there's traffic or every time there's a backlink, Google's going to come and crawl. They're going to re-index. They're going to reclassify. Is there value? Yes or no? They have to make it. Google forces rank. So to the main question, if we know that Google crawls all links, if we know that Google forces rank, if we also know that Google loves itself, why wouldn't it, right? It's Google. Then why wouldn't posting to our service location pages or what's valuable to us and call Google, say, hey, Google, check this out. I do this service in this location, plus people can call me and look, 3 times a day, I point to my most valuable pages. So you can come and crawl and reindex and reclassify. It's a cycle, right? Like, hey, Google, we're over here. So do I feel that posting is valuable? Yes, but not in a direct way. Only because when you show Google love, they show you love. And I want to point this out too. Remember when you used to be able to see the analytics and you'd get 400 impressions, 200 impressions, 100 impressions on your posts, events, and offers? They took that away. But do you also remember you'd get 200 impressions, no clicks, but you might generate 1 free phone call? Let me ask you a question. If you could post every day, 3 times a day, and you could generate 1 free call, and it turned into a sale, would it be worth it for you to post every day? In most cases, yes. So posting, whether it helps with ranking or not, it keeps us top of mind to Google. It keeps our business's activity going. On top of that, it could potentially lead to a sale. Absolutely. Not only is posting to Google Maps effective, but it can also help with ranking. Let's keep moving on. Number 7, how do I track my Google Maps SEO performance? So there's lots of tools out there. Most of the time for Google Maps, the best way of doing things, and I'll point something out to you, is when you go inside of here and you right click here, let's zoom in. All right, you go to Google Maps. All right, let me point something out to you. All right, Google spent a lot of dollars and a lot of time acquiring companies to have very good maps. With that being said, every section on this map has what is called a longitude and latitude. So, in my opinion, to answer this question, if we know that every section on the map has a longitude and latitude, that would mean the most accurate way to verify our actual rankings is to simulate standing at longitude and latitude on a mobile device or desktop simulated and run a search for our primary search terms. This way we get accurate geo information about our rankings per keyword, and we have it down to the longitude and latitude, down pinpointed. So what we really like to do, as far as checking our rankings, we really like GeoGrids. There's lots of them out there. Local Dominator's one of them. Local Falcon, Local Viking. There's tons of them. Right now we're using Dominator, but there's so many, but it's completely up to you. So run a GeoGrid for checking your maps per keyword on a bi-weekly basis. Don't drive yourself crazy checking every day. And that's what I would do, run a GeoGrid. All right. Coming down the list, most common questions about my business, GBP SEO. All right. So this looks like, all right, how do I optimize my Google profile for SEO? Excellent question. So again, what I did here is if you're just joining me, I went to OpenAI and to Gemini, and I asked, what are the most common questions about Google Maps that business owners actually ask? And then I went over to OpenAI and I said, hey, what's the most common questions for Google Maps or Google Business Profile? Give me the questions that business owners commonly ask all the time. And this is what it came out with. All right. So with that being said, the very next question on the list, how do I optimize my Google Business Profile? So in my opinion, if you head over to the SEOmastermind.org, soon we're going to be under one umbrella, Gray Hat SEO. But if you come over here and click on free, I will give you, if you scroll down the list, it's free. If you scroll down the list here, you could get a Google Maps or Google Business Profile optimization checklist. I believe it has 107. Here, it's an optimization checklist, 24 point, but each point will have 10 to 20 little things to do, right? So it ends up being like 97, 94, 107, something like that. You can come inside of here, but we're also updating our list, more of an SOP. So I'm working on that currently. So check list. Yep, 97. It's 97. So I'm reworking the list currently as an SOP. I'm breaking down each section into slides because we have some new staff. Soon at Gray Hat SEO, we'll have a fully managed service. So you can go through this 97-point checklist. This is how I train Tammy, Dave, Alex, me. This is how I do it. So you can go over to SEO Mastermind, get the checklist complimentary, or you can come to chrispalmer.org or Gray Hat SEO and have someone do it. Or if you give me about another 2 days, I'll have a brand new list for you. But with that being said, you go down the Google Business Profile. And what do I mean by going down it? All right, let me just share this with you. So plumber Houston, okay? If you have a plumber in Houston, what I mean by going down is you start at the very top, the name of the business. Each part is an optimization zone. So do you have a keyword? Do you have a DBA? How about your reviews? Have you answered your reviews? Are you getting location information? What about primary service? What about years in business? How about booking online? What about your website? Does it have www or is it to the root? You with me? You're going through each and every section. This is optimization. If you go through the 97-point checklist, generally it takes anywhere between a half hour to 2 hours, depending on how many products you have or services you provide, how many pages you have, how many reviews you haven't answered, have you updated your photos, your videos, interior, exterior, your founder, have you done what is required? Please note this. Remember when you first started with your Google Business Profile and you updated everything? Remember that initial rush that you got? You got that lift, right? You may even have ranked for a week or two. Repeat that process. Upload the videos, upload the interior, exterior, do a post, do an event, promote an offer, sign up for LSA, get guaranteed. Work with Google. Pay Caesar's what is Caesar's, either with time or dollars. You will be rewarded over time. So let's move forward. All right, so we went through that. It's 97 points, so it can't really, I can't expand too much more. But number 2, what's the best way to choose categories for Google Business SEO? All right, so this is going to be, all right, first and foremost, good question. What's the best way to choose categories for Google Business SEO or GBP, Google Business Profile, Google Maps? All right, so let's talk about categories because there's 2 types. You have primary category, which what you're looking for primary category is to encompass all that you do. For instance, Nick is a plumber, right? Do I think he should, or I'm sorry, he does air conditioning. So his primary service should be AC replacement, AC repair. Go and take a look at the ranking performers. Now, just because a performer that's at the top is not optimal, and they have 5 categories, 4 categories, 6 categories, let them dilute themselves. You want to have one primary category, maybe a secondary. With that said, the very next step is I want to point this out. All right. When we're talking about categories, see how Google is outlining this in gray? This is a highlight. This is your primary category. This particular gentleman chose plumber. Everything else is a custom. Until you get down here, they might highlight another one, which they did, HVAC contractor. That's their secondary. These are two worlds apart. If I search for primary key term plus location, does Google show the same results, same pages? If so, they don't belong together. It's two separate pages, two ideas. So back to your question. How do you choose your category? You choose your category based upon what encompasses all that you do, but remember, you can't be the expert of more than one thing. And go and take a look at competitive markets. LA, New York, Houston, Austin, Phoenix, right? Dallas, San Antonio, and look at competitive markets too. Or not only geographics, but areas. Payday loans, personal injury, chiropractor, dentist. Take a look at the hard stuff. Bitcoin ATMs. Take a look at the hard stuff. What do? They optimize around one thing. Generally, the winners are tuned for one thing. Everything else is secondary. And that's my recommendation there. Next, we want to start talking about what is called the product categories. All right. So under product categories, like we mentioned before. All right. So product categories are these here. You want to choose these based upon your primary services. All right. So if your primary service is plumbing, is it plumbing service, plumbing repair? Which terms have volume, right? Whatever's on your website in your drop downs, in your header, footer, body, that's what you put here for your categories. Remember, the enhancement only comes with 4 in this section. What do I mean by enhancement? The enhancement is actually down here. Let me show you. So the enhancement will come. All right, I'll show you quick. All right, now I don't know who this is, but we're going to utilize them as an example. Okay. Wilkes-Barre's right next to me. Let me just show you one so you have a general idea of what I'm talking about. Here, better yet, Morgan & Morgan's one of the biggest and the best in all the land. Morgan & Morgan, Philadelphia, in a hard area. One of the best firms in the hardest area. Let's see what they're doing. Oh, gee, who would have thought, right? Now, they actually went a little above board, but they could do that. It's Morgan & Morgan, right? But see how underneath here they have this one, it says view all. This is an enhancement. If you only pick 4 that your primary categories are, then you get 4 enhancements as opposed to 1. Then when you click on this, you choose a primary key term, and then these go to your location service page, which is a link, most notably going to be a reciprocal link. So this is how you optimize your category, primary category, your product category, and your service categories. This is the thought process behind it. This is how you do it, in my opinion. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. All right, let's keep it moving here. I have homework duty coming up soon, but I wanted to make sure I was able to speak with you today and give you some tips. All right, so what's the best way to choose category? Next is, how do reviews affect my GBP SEO or your Maps SEO? Great question. I get it a lot. So reviews are the customer journey's end, right? Businesses ranking at the top of maps are oftentimes there not because of skill, but because they generate all the interest. They're also getting all of the reviews. So they're able to get backup or they're able to get references to say, hey, here's the business. Here's who showed up at my house. Here's the street. Here's the location. Here's the service they did. They did a good job, 5-star, right? So how do reviews affect my GBP SEO? It's at the end of the customer journey. A business doing consistent business consistently gets good reviews. So, with that being said, reviews are how Google can justify or how Google is going to trust that you're actually a business in that area providing these services and you're doing a good job. No, Google's a product, just like what you sell. Google's goal is to serve the best results. Yes, they make dollars from it. Yes, they have ads, but at the end of the day, they want to serve the best result. So that customer leaving the review is a great signal. On top of that, so is traffic and clicks, but it all works together. And we do not want to overstuff key terms. We want to really look at LSIs, entities, and location information. Quick note or a quick tip. Anything that has an entity ID is wildly valuable to Google. Think about this when you're getting your reviews or coaching your customers in leaving a review. Let's move on. Number 4, can I use keywords in my Google business profile name for better SEO? Good question. So, can you use them? Absolutely. Is it within guidelines or terms of service? No, it's not, unless it's your actual business name. Google has clear rules, okay? You may want to take some time to go out. Here, I'll point this out. Google business policies, terms, okay? If you come down here, profile, additional terms, all profile policies and guidelines. Every single element, content posting, the photos, supported countries, prohibited content, everything is right here. See, when you're an SEO such as myself, I try to walk on the line because we're dealing with business owners. You never can cross the line. You can never risk your profile. You can never risk the phone ringing, right? But unfortunately, there's lots of other players on the board that are willing to risk it, right? So in order to walk on the line without crossing and be able to actually compete, I need to know what the rules are. So I would highly advise coming on over here and understand what the rules are. I know all the rules. I know the guidelines. I know when they update it. It's in your best interest to understand the rules so you can actually play competitively. Because most other players on the board are not playing by the book. So back to the initial question. Can you put keywords in your name? You can. But if you run up the ladder, get into Map Pack, Google doesn't find stuff on their own. They find stuff when competition or spam fighters out you. So don't do anything that's egregious or doesn't have plausible deniability. On top of that, it's very easy to get a DBA. You can have an umbrella company with a DBA. It's $50 a year. Pay the $50 if you want to use a keyword. That way you have your ducks in a row. And I would highly recommend that you head on out and read all the business profile guidelines and policies so you can walk on the line and stay within the terms of service. No 2-3 spot jump is ever worth losing your profile. It's never worth it. You need that phone to keep ringing, right? I'd rather rank slow than not rank at all. Let's move forward. Number 5, how do I rank my GBP for nearby cities or areas? All right, great question. So when we're talking about maps and websites, yes, I understand they're two separate products. However, Google is reading, and you can go and read some of the patents. You can even use ChatGPT or Gemini to help you through some of these patents and how Google understands information. Now, we know that entity usage, people, places, things, locations, streets, right? Counties, states, is valuable information, right? There's entity IDs. On top of that, topics have entity ID, probably your service keywords, right? I know for a fact they do. So in understanding that entities hold more weight because they've been identified as being relevant terms for said service or location, then we know that we want to include those into our pages. Most notably, we want to include these terms into the page that's connected. Now let's take it a step further, all right? So when you're taking a look at a location, let's just say it's Miami. Like I mentioned before, Google is going to outline a particular area. Your objective is, you know, the state, you know, the county, city, okay, towns, neighborhoods, and street entity IDs. I need this information to be included in the page. Why? So I am hyper relevant for the term. With that being said, there's multiple schema types. What I would highly suggest that you do is you look up what schema types are being utilized to populate the knowledge panel or the knowledge graph. Now, why those, Chris? Because these are the unique identifiers that establish an entity. Relevance is rank. So I go and get all the locations. I go and get all the relevant IDs. I go and get the relevant schema. And then on top of that, I have relevant people in that area searching for me, clicking on me, engaging with me, leaving reviews. Plus my profile is optimized for it. Plus my digital references are optimized for service and location. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen when you do this. So how do I rank for a farther proximity, or how do I rank for nearby cities? By being optimized for service plus location with entities in mind while driving traffic and having digital reference points pointing back to that asset. Let's move on. This is a big one. I can't answer that in a minute. You know what I mean? Like, we'll have to skip over that one. There's so much to that number 5 there. It's mind blowing. It's bone curdling. All right, number 6. What happens if my GBP isn't claimed? Does it hurt my SEO? Excellent question. One of the very first things when you create your business profile, Google is going to not only send you emails, they'll call you, they'll text you, they'll email you, they'll even give you warnings inside of your Google profile when you log in. So what I'm getting at here is the importance of claiming your business profile and getting it verified. Google will not let you rest until it's verified. Gone are the days of ranking unverified listings, especially for 5 miles, 10 miles. You're lucky to get a mile, and every 6 months or every 90 days, Google comes through and wipes them out. You're always chasing your tail. So with that being said, if you're running a legitimate business, whether it's lead gen or not, you need to get verified. If Google's rewarding businesses that are showing their address, you need to show your address. With that being said, what happens if it isn't claimed? Nothing. It just sits there dormant. There's a lot of steps that need to be taken to make that show up as an unverified listing. Not an easy task. Definitely not for a local business owner like yourself, right? So does it hurt your SEO? No, it's almost non-existent. Oftentimes, Google won't even generate the CID. It depends on how the profile was created. Did you create it? Did you add a business? Or did you suggest an edit when you created it? How was it created? Right? Is there a CID? If there's a CID, then you can get it to show up whether it's verified or not. Number 7, how do I deal with spam or fake GBP listings competing with me? This is an excellent question. So how do I deal, or how should you deal with spam or fake GBP listings competing with you? In my personal opinion, reciprocity and karma are real, right? You do good, good happens. If negative out, negative in, right? Karma is also real. Remember, that person, that's someone's business, right? Now, whether they're getting ahead of you or not, it's who knows what that person is up to. That's a company, that's a family, that's a man or a woman that's doing what they're doing, right? I don't want that karma. Now, with that being said, if a business ever steps out of line, then what I would do is I would go where the spam team is. There is a local search forum. There's 2 people. at this local search forum. It's called Sterling Sky. You're looking for Ben Fisher or Joy Hawkins. If somebody is deliberately attacking your listing and you actually have proof, everyone thinks that they're getting a negative SEO attack, but really they just negative SEO'd themselves, right? But are they duplicating your address? Are they making changes to your profile? Are they coming or showing up to your business? Do you know them by first name? Is there actually a serious issue here? What I would do is I'd go over to the local search forum. I would seek out Ben or Joy, and they will be wiped off the board. But it actually has to be a case. All right. Another opportunity is there are communities online. Google, you can search Google Community, Google Maps Help, Gold Product Expert. You can plead your case there. Here's another one. You can go over to the Google Maps Twitter. People think that these opportunities don't work. If you actually have something, Google doesn't want their product. Google's a product, just like what you're selling. They don't want anyone muddying up their product. They got the best in the land, right? So these are some opportunities to clean up if someone is actually hurting you, but to deliberately go out or try to beat somebody, no. I don't like to win that way. But yeah, no. Now we have taken down spam listings. If someone doesn't have a review, right? They don't have any reviews. They have an exact match, or they're copying my name, or they copied my phone number. They're deliberately just manipulating in the short term and hurting me in the short term, right? Like they don't care. You could just tell. The website was thrown up. It's a WordPress or a static HTML on a CDN. They don't have any reviews. They just showed up yesterday, but they're ranking because they have an exact match and they're pumping traffic, and they maybe one review that has all the key terms and locations in it, right? If I see this, we have a process to get them wiped off. But again, that's deliberately hurting us. So this is my stance on how to deal with spam or fake GBP listings competing with you. If they're actually hurting you, your family, or your business, I would reach out to the communities. If they're just jumping in front of you, the karma isn't worth it. You're running a business. I'm sure you have something better to do than go and tell on someone else trying to earn. Let's move on. Bonus broader trends, cost and ROI. How much does it cost to hire someone for Google Maps, GMB SEO? And will it get more customers? Are evergreen across both? All right. So this one says broader trends. How much does it cost to hire someone for maps? And will it get you results? All right. Very good question. I've seen all different types of prices. All right. For me, see, dollar in, what's my return? What's the deliverable? All right. Some people I talk to, $1,000 isn't a lot. $500 is a lot, right? It's, relative. So with that being said, how much does it cost to hire somebody for maps? I've seen all different pricing, anywhere between $1,500 a month all the way down to $150. But what you really need to be looking at is, well, what is the deliverable? Let me just share with you this. All right. Google My Business Management. Oh, hold up. My little guy just got home, so I'm gonna have to run. Well, I have to walk across the street, but we'll finish this off because that's how we roll. All right. So here I'll point this out to you, and then we can Google My Business Management Service. Okay. Trailing slash, I'm gonna have to fix that. In any case, so the question here is this. All right, so broader trends. Let's go over here and see. All right, and this is an education channel. It's not a pitch, but if you're working with a company, thinking about working with a company, what's the ROI? Because I want you to consider what's being done and think about the hard costs. Like, how much is a GeoGrid? If you ran 96 pins every 2 weeks for 10 keywords, what does that cost? Right? Probably about $15 to the end user, maybe $9.99, $10. On top of that, the regular optimization. Are they building citations? Are they doing directories? Are they running traffic? Are they pushing reviews? Are they doing press release? What's the deliverable? Add up the cost, right? Plus you have to put time on top, right? They have to make a profit. So how much does it cost to hire someone? Well, I would first and foremost take a look at the value versus the cost. As far as we are concerned, we run at $297. Take care of the biweekly grids. We'll run up to 15 keywords biweekly automated. So you get your GeoGrids. That's GeoGrid reporting. We post 2 times a day. We write them and generate the images twice a day. On top of that, we're also pushing traffic. We can call this engagement signals, but if you want to rank outside of your proximity, you got to get searches from outside your proximity. Alongside of that, reputation management is very, very important. We've talked about it numerous times today. I think that having reviews from your customers is wildly important. Being able to get a grasp on reviews, your actual rankings to make sure that our SEO lines up with your business. So GeoGrids, making sure that we're on the same page, getting traffic, reviews, optimization. And then what about maintenance after that? Citations, directory building. What about a strategy call? What about some of their time? Are they willing to meet with you twice a week, once a month? Will they go over the reports or is it just emails? So take these things into consideration. We charge $297. I've seen people charge $1,500. Now, the second part of this question, though, is will it get you more customers? If 99.9% of the time, yes. But 99.9% of the time, what I have found is it's never what the customer thought. And it oftentimes takes longer than the customer considered, right? So what I would really consider first and foremost is take a look at the top performers before you engage with an agency or an expert. What if you were to be in that top position? What's my competition actually getting? We can get rough estimates of traffic. Are you targeting a keyword or a location that has no traffic? The probability of you getting more calls, highly unlikely. I'm good, and I'm sure the agency you're working with is good. Doesn't necessarily mean they can make a rabbit appear, right? If there's no volume and there's no traffic, there's no one looking for it, or it's very minimal. The probability of you getting more calls and making the ROI or the investment worth it, it's just not likely, especially at $1,000 or $700 or $500. Like, if you go lay down $500 in LSA ads and I only have to pay for bookings, right? That's what, 12 calls? That's 12 booked calls. They're 40 to 60 bucks a call. I only have to pay for them, right? I could go give money to Google. So what I'm getting at is if Google is willing to give me 12 verified leads at $500, the value to cost ratio for a Maps SEO service better be worth it, because the ROI through Google is nearly immediate. Organic is different. We're talking about LSA only. All right. I know not every business can do this. On top of this, if you're brand new, It's going to take you months to reach success, but it's better to start today. Alongside of that, have you done any legwork? Have you made any mistakes along the way? How long have you been in business? Are you really actually a business? These things matter. Are you registered? Do you have a physical address? Is it out of your garage? Nothing wrong with that. Bill Gates started out of his garage. But have you registered the garage? Right? Are you a business? So, are you a business? Are you close to where people are searching? Do you offer services people are looking for? Are you invested in your business? Right? And then you have to start looking at the ROI to cost ratio, and then you can make your decision from there. Do I think it's worth it? Or do I think that you can get more customers? Yes, as long as all the stars align. Like, are you in business? Are you in a good area? Are you in a good market? Did you not make any mistakes? Did you not start blasting the site with links with some tool? Like, who knows? I've seen all kinds of stuff. Let's move on to this will be the last question for today, and I'll take any that are in the live chat, and then we're going to end it. I'm going to go see little Chris. DIY versus pro. So I asked Google and OpenAI for these questions related to local SEO, Google Maps, and Google Business Profiles. This is the last question that they asked if you just joined me. DIY versus pro. Can you do Google Maps optimization and SEO yourself? Can you do Google Business Profile SEO yourself? Absolutely. The next part of the question is, do you need an expert? No. No, you do not. Absolutely not. But like I mentioned before, when you need to stay competitive, right? What I mean by staying competitive, when all of your competition is willing to break the rules and risk it all to win. When you're working in a real business, you need to know the guidelines to stay competitive so I can never risk the listing. Are you willing to invest the time to stay up to date on the guidelines? Do you know the guidelines? Do you know what you can do? Do you know that if you send 100 clicks to the website, that this could be a problem? Do you know the difference? Do you know what CTR is? Do you know what traffic is? Do you know how many reviews you can leave on a daily basis without getting flagged? Right? Do you know what a QR code is? I'm just throwing out stuff here. But what I'm getting at is your time worth more or worth less than the person you're going to pay that knows the ins and the outs of what they're doing? I hope that your time is worth more doing whatever you're doing. So what we're going to do over here is this. Can you do it yourself? Absolutely. But there's time. Time is more valuable than dollars, right? But some will say that dollars are accrued time. That's not how I think. But that's up to you. So can you do it yourself? Yes. I have a 97-point checklist. It'll take you through the list, but there's nuances, there's terminology, there's, terms change, not that often, but they make not expenditures, but they'll do like A, B, C. I forget what they call this. They won't update a big part of it, but they'll add stuff. They'll add little sudden nuances, right? Like maybe they change bulk upload. Maybe you can only do so many at a time. If you try it, all of a sudden, all your accounts get flagged. Did you know you can't have more than 50 accounts under one Gmail? Or it's like a domino effect if one of them gets cracked? There's nuances that need to be known. It'll take you about 30 days to be proficient enough to start touching stuff in your listing without running risk. If your time is less valuable than the person you're going to hire, do it yourself. If you're just testing stuff out or you don't care if you lose your listing, definitely go for it. I have a 97-point checklist. There's other ones out online. With that being said, can you do it yourself? Do I need an expert? Pops up often, especially from small businesses. Yes, small businesses, because of the cost of calls through Google, people put a lot of cost on top of a service that, you shouldn't be paying $500. You shouldn't be paying 600. You shouldn't be paying $1,000. Like, really think about what you're getting. You don't need an expert. You can do the main stuff. But to get it to rank, you need to be competitive. Traffic, reviews, clicks, primary optimization on website and in maps. There's primary zones that need to be optimized. I hope this is helpful. I'll answer any of your questions that you may have currently, and then we're going to call it a day. G Gadget said, Chris, hello, sir. Hello from Siberia. Hello, ma'am. Good to see you. Josh says, hey, Chris, I was on the stream last night when you were creating local service pages, and I just was wondering when you will be doing part 2 on that. I've always wanted to see how bulk pages are made. Yeah, that's next. Well, I started doing that as a video. I'm just going to switch up what we're creating, only because we're launching out Gray Hat SEO. And launching state and city pages for SEO agencies, statewide and citywide, could be beneficial. Probably not. What is beneficial is creating bulk pages based upon particular services. It'll probably be the next video. We'll go through that, because what I'm looking to do is also offer that template, right, as like a lead generation asset. So I have a script that has a formula in it. I'll give it away for your email. So I want to give away the template. I was thinking about, I was going to use that template to make a plugin initially. So it's cool. But now with AI, I like to show, because I talk to a lot, not everybody that is on my channel lives in America, right? So a lot of people I talk to don't have $400 for a plugin. You know what I'm saying? Or they don't have a lot of times I talk to people that don't have a credit card to go sign up for OpenAI. But so I want to show people how to do stuff manually, because that's how I started. That's how I know how to do it. In any case, you don't have any questions. I answered everything. I'm going to break this down into parts. It's been an absolute pleasure. Oh, here. Let's put this in the kibosh. Google Business Profile Policies and Terms. Here. All right. Bear with me here. All right. So I get the question a lot related to Google Business Profiles, Google Maps. There is a product and a service section. Now, oftentimes I'll speak with business owners related to their service section and really just limit their services to whatever their primary category is, because everything else is custom. With that said, I'm talking to a service business. So in their mind, and rightfully so, it doesn't make sense to add a service to a product section. However, we all see the same thing through different eyes. Apparently, Google has. So what I want to point out to you is, if you're a service business, your service is your product. And as long as you're not breaking the upload procedures, file sizes, you're not being redundant with keywords or locations, like if you're not putting up more than 50 under a product category, like you have a product category and you have 50 products all named the same thing, targeting different cities, as long as you don't go over that, you're within the guidelines. You create an image that's unique, 1200 by 900, or utilize your logo, right? You can create a link going to your page. Don't send it to a doorway page. Don't send them all to the same page. Google will block you for that. But what I want to do right now is I'd like to showcase the guidelines right from the horse's mouth Understanding product approval policies. To provide a good experience for potential customers, we developed a set of policies and quality requirements when you add product info to your business profile. If you uploaded a product, data doesn't meet the product specifications, or your products may be subject to warnings. All right. So what I want to show you is the product data specifications. All right. Before you begin, product data, price, product category, product identifiers, detailed product description, shopping campaigns, marketplaces, destinations, shipping, tax, other requirements, landing page requirements. There are tons of requirements. All right. So what I want to showcase to you, local business, small business, medium business owner, is that it's not against the guidelines. It's completely on the up and up as long as you follow the terms of service. There is a section inside of here. Man, they do talk about it specifically. Oh, here's that local search forum I was telling you about. Joy Hawkins, I think she's on YouTube. I've actually, she doesn't know it, but I had a few clients in the law space that worked with her, and they said she did phenomenal work for them. So respect, right? So that's fun. I always like to hear that. Profile, business type, Google guidelines to adding services as products in Google Maps. I want to pull this out because, again, the reason for this stream is also I'm going to break this up into videos. Prohibited content and behavior. Perfect. So, all right. So we can start this back over. All right. So I get the question a lot about service businesses, small businesses, medium businesses, businesses that offer professional service, or they're service-based businesses. And there is two sections within Google Maps. One says service, one says product. Now, oftentimes I get the question related to adding your services to the product section. Now, I've had numerous businesses have pushback, and I had to go through this today to showcase to them and hopefully you to have you be better optimized, because if you're a service business, your service is your product. And this is how Google views it. And it's completely within the guidelines. As long as you're staying within the guidelines and the policies, you're not giving misinformation or being redundant or keyword stuffing, there's policies. In fact, there's a whole page dedicated to Google Business Profile terms. There's additional terms. And on top of that, there's all the business policies and guidelines. You can find it here. All right. Now, as you go down the list, you can find that there is a product approval, understand product approval policies. There's data specifications and shopping policy requirements. Now, if you're plugging into Merchant Center or Merchant Hub, which is a Google product that you can do from within your Maps listing, yes, you're not going to get away with many services in the product section. That it's the Merchant Center. It's for actual hard goods. Now, if you're just representing your services as products on Google Business Profile Maps, totally within the guidelines. Now, as you come inside of here, you can learn more about the editor, but I want to point this out. If you find a not approved status on your product listing, click the products to find information about why it wasn't approved. Along with the explanation, you'll see a link to detailed page about the applicable policies. After you make appropriate edits, you can save and it will be fixed. See, oftentimes with Google, especially in this particular scenario of adding service to product, just like with reviews or anything else, if Google doesn't trust it, Google will tell you and give you the opportunity to fix and amend what you've done. You're not an SEO expert. You don't work at Google. Mistakes happen. If there's a problem, Google will tell you. Oftentimes it's because you're being redundant. You've added prohibited or broken a content policy. You haven't filled out enough information. You're doing impersonations or misinformation or representation. You're being inappropriate with your behavior or your services. So take a look, read through the guidelines and the terms of service. But what you can do is add your services to your product section for better optimization. Hopefully this helps you out. All right. It's been a true pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. Very, very soon we will be offering completely managed packages, starter packages, link building, press releases. We'll do reseller and white label. I'll have done for you and a la carte. On top of that, fully managed or just bi-monthly. So we'll be having everything right here. There'll also be a search forum. I'll have a resource center, even a place that you could leave questions, get free consultations. And to launch this, what we're going to do is we're going to just start giving away product in exchange for video testimonial. So we have links, press releases, whatever you want, reviews, all kinds of stuff. I already got the green light from the accountant. It's a green light. It's marketing. So we're going to give away a bunch of service in exchange for video testimonials. Good, bad, it doesn't matter to me. It is what it is. So I appreciate your time today. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, ask in the section below. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll go through the geo-modified content or building content at scale. We'll go through re-optimization, adding schema, getting the data that's required to have proper location pages. But yeah, be on the lookout. You can come inside here. You could start to see some of the stuff that we'll be doing. Managed, monthly. You got to sign up, of course. I'm a marketer, right? So it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.